Okay, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are watching me from today. My name is Akinropo Akinola, and it is exactly 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. here in Lagos State, Nigeria, and I'm broadcasting live. So today has been uh, today has been a kind of a mixed feeling for me, in the sense that I've been so busy uh, you know attending to a client who has been battling with this problem he had with his father while growing up. So this my client now, with his permission, because he told me that he has many friends out there who are battling with the same problem and they don't really know how to go about it. He told me that he has run it with many of his friends, some of his friends, and he got to know that many of them, they got to know from some of his friends that they too have many of friends who are going through the same problem. So what is this problem? I sought his permission, like I was saying the other time, that he told me to bring this to the open. And that was why about maybe an hour ago, I sent it on my, I wrote it out that I may likely go on air today, this evening, to discuss about how adults who have problems with their fathers can find closure and healing. He told me that I should say this out. Now, many people are going through this, they don't know how to go about it. Now, what is his own peculiar challenge? The peculiar challenge he has actually, emanated, is a spillover of the problem that his dad had with his mom, and that was 38 years ago. 38 years ago, when he was just 3. So the dad threw them out. Together, he was 3 then his mom was carrying his younger sister, who was 1. Something happened. Details of what happened, of course, now it's not something that is meant for public here. But since then, when he was 3, the mother took him out, left the dad together with the younger sister. The mother stayed for almost maybe 7 years thereabout before he finally married. In the second marriage, the mother wasn't finding it rosy. So the mother almost wanted to pull out, but because the mother didn't want people to begin to count that, oh, you divorced a man about 5 or 6 years ago, you married another one, then you want to divorce. So the mother endured the marriage. 6 years into the second marriage, the husband of the mom, the stepdad, died, right? So, and they had just 2 children together. So, meaning the 2 children from the previous marriage, there are additional 2 with the previous marriage, yes. So they now have 4. So it was now the responsibility of the mother to take care of the whole 4 children. His own dad was still alive then. He never saw anything wrong to try to make up with the mom. The mom was the only one taking care of every one of them. The father, his own dad, remarried, moved on. So anytime he tried to go and visit the father with the younger sister, the father was always angry that he was not ready to see any one of them because his mom caused the problem. That because of the problem the mom caused, he was not ready to entertain anything. So the woman suffered, did everything possible just to make sure that these 4 children became great in life, right? And their they are growing up. They went through challenges. They went through all manners. Everything was going right for them until when the mom too now lost her job. That was when the mom now told this boy, the firstborn, right, that on no circumstance must you ever, when you begin to work, have money, on no circumstance must you go back to your father. On no circumstance must you recognize him as your father, because she was the only one who was responsible with the help of her own siblings, help of her uncles, aunts around, relatives. So they were the one that were responsible for the upbringing, how they went to university, how he secured the job, the professional exam that this guy. So this guy is great, he's big now, right? By all standard, the guy is okay. But within him, he said he's not feeling fulfilled yet, because his father is still very much alive. He's concerned about his dad, and anytime he brings this matter before his mom, that mom, this man is going to 80 years. Let us find a way to reconcile, that he can't continue to look at his dad somewhere while he's here. The guy is married. During the marriage, the mom insisted that his father, the former husband, will not be there. He laid curses, right? She laid curses because the guy wanted the dad to be there. They wanted to settle this thing, but the mom is insisting, no, that the man, the boy, the father must not be present in this wedding. 4 years after the wedding now, the guy is feeling unhappy that he doesn't still have this relationship with his dad. He has begged the mom. He has spoken to people who he thinks the mom will listen to. So the guy came to meet me. In fact, he sent a mail last December, but then couldn't do anything. So we just started to have time in the past few days that we kickstarted the counseling and therapy session with the guy. The guy is doing well, but somewhere in his mind, he's not happy. His father is not living well. Every other person around the father was not ready, or they are not ready to take care of the dad. The step children also, they were not ready. But this man is in a position to change the fortune of his dad, but is finding it difficult. So what the stage that we're in now is that I want to bring the mother on board. He has spoken with the mom, and the mom is ready to meet us, right? Why am I putting this out now? With his permission, he told me that, he said, Akin, I want you to bring this thing out. A lot of guys, ladies are suffering silently because of what their mom has told, I've told them about what their dad did. So that's why I'm bringing this out. That is something I want us to pay attention to, or to really take cognizance of, that we face challenges in life. We have many things that are sources of our pain and joy. But from what I have gathered so far in the course of this job, I have come to realize that greater percentage, or the greatest of the challenges that adults go through. I'm talking about the aspect of my job now, as a family life practitioner, right? I've discovered that in that line, we have seen over and over again adults who are still having problem with their fathers. Adults who are having problem with their fathers. Now, I don't have the empirical figure to support this. The category may be the problem is as a result of what the father did to the mother or the children. But from what I have at my disposal, it has always been the problems the mothers have with the father. And the same thing now taking its toll on the children. The mothers have now told their children, told their sons, most especially, that on no condition must they relate with their fathers. So I'm bringing this here now to beg every mother, please, I have been there before. If you are a constant follower of what I do here on Facebook, on social media, most especially, and if you have ever bought any of my books, you would always see a reflection of my relationship with my late dad in there. You will always see it. Even the latest book, Pathway to Fatherhood, a reflection of the relationship between me and my dad is in that book. So I want to beg every mother here listening. I'm not here to judge you. I want to say you have every right not to forgive either your husband or your ex-husband, whether he's alive or is dead. I wasn't there when you were going through the pain. I wasn't there. I was not your son. I am just an outsider who had actually experienced same, though with different category, different pain. Our pains are not the same. We may have experienced the same thing that you have experienced. My mother may have experienced the same thing you have experienced. Your children may have experienced the same thing that I'm experiencing, or have experienced rather, but with different degree of pains, right? So I am not here to judge you. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm not here to force on you that you must forgive the man. But I am just appealing. I am begging that please, if this man is still very much alive, find time to engage the man in an open conversation, open and candid communication. Settle everything now before any one of you dies. There is a reason for saying this. It will not be nice for your children to carry the pain that you experienced many years back, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It will not be nice for them to carry that pain over. So when you have died, or the man has died, no closure, no healing whatsoever. And the children are now living, they don't know who to reconcile with. That will not be nice at all. Because I know what this guy is going through. The thing is really taking its toll on him. He has money, he has everything. But he really wants to have a relationship with his dad. The dad is still very much alive. How about some people who their dads have died? He really wants to have a relationship with his dad, but the mom said no. The mom said over a dead body. Will that happen? Because of various degree, the level of pains your dad inflicted on me, I showed that responsibility, carried everything, did everything. Nobody. This man, not molestation now. This man discredited me before people, abused me before people, threw me out of the home. She was homeless for like 1-2 years, doing everything to make sure that these children, the two children, the 3-year-old boy, this guy now, and the younger sister, 1-year-old girl, she was the one doing everything. So the mom, but this guy said, no, mom, there has to be a way out, right? But with everything that is going on now, we are in the process of talking to the mother. We are in the process of bringing her on board so that we can find a way to settle this. The dad is still very much alive. We're still going to involve the dad. So I've told this guy, look out for as many elders that are possible, that are closer to your mom and that are closer to your father, that we want to settle this once and for all, for the sake of posterity. it is not about what has happened in the past. It's about the future. And us coming into this issue now, we are not looking for who is wrong, who is right, but we are looking for progress and a resolution to the issue at hand. Now, the next purpose why I am bringing this up here now, there are two purposes. First, for every mother who will be watching this, please, I am begging you. Like I told you, my mom was one of you before. She was abused, discredited. There was nothing. There was no degree of humiliation that my mother did not suffer when she was with my dad. But we thank God, everything is sorted out. My dad is late though, but before he died in 2004, we tried to settle this, but not really. I wish he didn't die in that year. We wanted amicable resolution to everything. He acknowledged his fault. Everybody acknowledged their fault, and he was ready to make up. But unfortunately, he died. But we are still carrying on his legacy, right? So I want to beg every one of you. Thank you, sir. Daddy Oladin said it's a win-win situation. Win-win situation is key in resolving the issue. Thank you, sir. So we're not looking for who is at fault, who is wrong, who is this, who is that. No, that's what we're not looking for. We want to do it for posterity's sake, for the children that have come under this, that have come through this relationship. We don't want them to carry the pains that they were not part of. They didn't even know how it happened. We don't want them to carry it forward. So the second purpose, the first one is for mothers to please. Like I said, you have every right not to forgive. You have every right to tell your children not to remember their dad, not to give their dad everything. It is not my place to judge you, to condemn you, no. But I'm just begging. For the sake of your old age, for the sake of the children's old age also, because we don't want the vicious circle to continue. If because of what the dad did to you, and you now told the children not to remember their dad during the period that the dad should be enjoying, based on what the dad did 35, 40 years ago, the vicious circle will continue. What happened to their dad, to your husband, may happen to the children that you gave birth to. That is where the vicious circle takes its course, and we don't want that to happen. So please, find time. I pray from the bottom of my heart, the Lord who gave my mother peace will give you peace. This I pray. Find time to forgive this man. Forgiving this man may take months, years. It may not be easy, but find time, right? Find a place in your heart to forgive. Then the second one, if you are a child and if you are an adult, whether a male or female, in this category, I have a word for you. I want to give, there are many steps to go through, but I want to give 5 key steps on how to seek or to receive true forgiveness. Like I said, it's possible your dad had done many things, abominable things about you. It's possible he rejected you. I had been rejected before. I was rejected. I was humiliated. I suffered several abuses before, right? So it's possible you too had gone through this. It's possible. And I'm not judging you, like I said, about the women involved, the wives. You have every right to say, no, 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 no. I don't want to have anything to do with my dad again. It is possible. But how do you speak to your children about your dad? Is it good to tell your children that I don't have anything to do with my dad based on what my dad did to my mom or based on what my dad did to me 40 years ago, 30 years ago when I was growing up? You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Because the children that we give birth now, Alpha generation and Gen Z, they will ask you that, what is my own? I don't have any business with what happened between you and your dad. Hello, save me this. Let me just be on my own. What do you want to leave? What kind of legacy do you want to leave for them? Right? So I want to give this step. First one, please acknowledge the pain. In acknowledging the pain, we are saying that every reason for the position that you have taken is valid. You have every right. That is the first one. Acknowledge. The second one, if your dad is still very much alive, please entertain, engage, open and honest communication with your dad. Open and honest communication, regardless of who was wrong or who was right then. So in engaging him in open and honest communication, reach out to elders around. Everybody in your father's house can't be evil. No. Everybody in that family, in the village, can't be evil. They are happy to see you doing well in life because you are carrying the name of that father. You are carrying the name of the father. They are happy, seeing great things that you are doing. Reach out to them. Let them know that you want to make up with your dad. Let them know you want to make up with your dad so that you can move forward. So if your dad is a difficult person, there is no way there won't be one person or two person that he will want to obey, that he will fear. In Yoruba land, they call them onitiju. That there's no way you won't have someone in the family that when they call him, he responds quickly. There's no way. There won't be anyone there. So, if all these things now fail, no person, no elder to intervene, to bring on board, rather maybe from your mother's house or from your father's place, the next thing for you to do is to resort to therapy and counseling. Therapy and counseling. So the third one, seek support. Seek support. That is professional support. When you seek professional support, two things will happen. A professional support will give you guidance and direction. Guidance and direction are not the same. Guidance says this is the end point of this session. This is the end point of you seeking closure and healing from the childhood trauma as a result of your father's neglect. It's going to tell you when this thing happens, when you follow this, this is what will happen. This is the end result. The end result is for you to have closure and healing. But direction will lay down the processes for you on how to go about it. Direction will say, in the next 3 months, this is what you do. In the next 4 months, this is what you do. So when you have spent about 3 or 4 months or 6 months in the processes that he has given unto you, and you encounter this is what you must do. That is what the direction will do. So a professional support will give you both guidance and direction, right? Then the fourth one, time and patience. Please, it depends on how deep you are about your resolution, right, to seek closure and healing. Healing takes time. It could be months, it could be years. It takes time. I'm not going to come here and tell you that immediately after this message, you should receive healing and forgive your dad. So please forgive and go. No, I'm not going to say that because it takes time. Like I said, I've been there before. It takes years. And we don't want vicious cycle to begin to happen. It happened to you. It happened then. It will not happen to your children. Let me quickly say this secret. This is something I did. It's a research I carried out about my dad, and some people also who inflicted unjust pains on their children. 90% of this, let me just say of my dad, 100% of my dad, because my dad never forgave his own dad. My dad felt he suffered abuse from his dad. We witnessed it. We were there. Anytime they came visiting, my dad will take care of his mom more than the dad. Even around 10 p.m., he will call his mom to come and watch TV. When his dad tiptoed to come and watch, my dad will tell his dad, my granddad, that Kilenwa, what do you know that they are saying there? But his mom will sit down, he will be interpreting what they're saying to his mom, and himself and his mom will be trained banters while he locked his dad in his own room. The dad dared not come out again. Do you understand? So because it happened to his dad, the same thing is now happening to him, and is passing the same pain to his own children. So that is why you need to seek closure and healing. So it takes time. You need to be patient with yourself. Don't rush. During this period, you are going to have challenges. You are going to have disruptions. You are going to have distractions. At times you feel that, no, I can't do it any longer. No, I don't want to forgive this man. Let him just go. No. When you begin to feel that, it's a good sign that the healing is closer to you than before. It's a confirmation that the progress is being recorded on the journey. So the fifth one, that is when you will have just come to the final forgiveness. So you forgive. Forgiveness means you let go of the anger and resentment. You let go of the past pains. Then you forget. People say that it's difficult to forget. It's not difficult to forget. You know, in our parlance, there's something we call narrative management. So when you have forgiven the person, oh, I forgive you. So when you remember again, you are not remembering the trauma. You are not remembering those abuses through the eye of a trauma. You are not remembering those past events through the eye of pains. No. You are remembering through the eye of lessons that those challenges have brought to you. Let me take that again. So when you forgive, then people say it's difficult to forget. And I say, though it's difficult to forget, right? But immediately you remember those past events. So you have converted those past events you have converted them to lessons. You are not seeing them through the eye of pains again. Okay, your dad abused you when you were growing up. Oh, your dad locked you inside. Every other person, every other children, every one of them they were watching TV, but your dad locked you out that you can't watch TV. On a vacation, they took them on a vacation, but your dad told you, no, everybody will go, but you can't go. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You stay. Every other child, they are at home, right, doing great things. But your dad said that, no, I don't want you in this house. Leave my house. I'm not your dad. Go and look for your own dad. So you left the place. You went somewhere else. So you can just convert it that, if not because that you went somewhere else, that somewhere else you went, you have relationship there. You cut new relationship. Some things happen to you. So you document all those things that happened to you in that new relationship, in that new area that you were sent to. And when you write everything down, you will discover that those things that you learned in other places, you couldn't have learned them. The wisdom you learned, you couldn't have learned them if you were with your dad. That is how to engage narrative management. So when you remember all those things, that instead of remembering that, oh, your dad threw you out of the house, instead of you not be saying that, imagine he humiliated me. You begin to now think of where you were sent to. What were the lessons? What were the lessons that you learned? What were the wisdom that came upon you in that new settlement? Who were the new people that you met? What great things did those new people do to you? Meanwhile, if you were still with your dad, right, you will not learn to them. So that is how to change it. Though you forgiven, though you are not forgetting, but each time you remember those events. You are not remembering through the pain, through the eye of pain, through the eye of trauma. You are remembering every of those events through the eye of lessons that you learned from there. That is exactly everything that has happened to me. When I sit down now and I remember my encounter with my dad, I remember everything through the eye of the lessons that I learned there. And I'm happy. I'm happy. So, this is what can happen to you. The first one, right? Acknowledge the pain. The second one, open communication. If your dad is still very much alive. If your dad is not alive, continue open communication with his siblings, your uncles. Don't for any reason desert your uncles if your dad is late. And you know there were challenges between you and your dad. It was not resolved before he died. You can reconcile with your God that with whatever everything that happened, I forgive my dad. I let go of the pains. Then look for your uncles. Reconcile with them. Reconcile with them and everybody's happy. Then the third one, which is seek professional support. Please. Professional support will give you two things. Will offer you two things among others. Guidance and direction. Guidance says this is the end result. The end result is for you to seek closure and healing. But direction discusses about the steps to take to achieve it. Then the fourth one, time and patience. You need to be patient with yourself. Don't rush yourself and don't allow anybody to rush you. Don't allow anyone to bully you. It's okay, you should have forgiven sins. No. Tell the person you are groaning, you are going through a process, and that process must complete before final closure and healing could take place. Then the fifth one, and that is forgiveness. Forgive. In forgiveness, you need to forget. Anytime you remember those unpalatable events that you went through with your dad, convert them. That's what we call narrative management. You are not remembering again through the eye of pain or trauma. You are remembering every of those unpalatable events through the eye of lessons and wisdom that those things have brought onto you. Right? So, in that, then you are okay. Then pain will no longer have any cause on you again. The last one, which is, please, I'm begging you, care for your father. Even while you are still going through the process of closure and healing, look for your father. Care for your father. I am begging you. I am begging you. I'm sorry to say this, regardless of what your father did to you when you were young, regardless of what your father did to your mother, regardless of what he did to your mother, please, while you are going through the process of closure and healing, which may take time, remember him, celebrate him, visit him, send money to him. Let him know he's your dad, and let him know that regardless of what happened, you hold it not against him. If your dad knew better, he would do better. If he knew better, he would do better. Remember what I told you about what I said about some fathers who unintentionally, inadvertently inflicted that pain on their children. It was because they did not forgive their own father. I shared my own personal story. So it's likely the same vicious circle is likely going to happen if you don't forgive your father. You don't know what will transpire between you and the children you are currently giving birth to. So please, take care of your father. Now, the question is, I did not, or me and my dad did not settle before he died. What should I do? Your dad has relations. Your dad has sisters or uncle. Look out for the uncle. Look out for the aunts. Pick somebody among them. Take care, especially the one that is next to your dad. Take care. If it is 2,000 naira every month that you have the capacity to send it to the person. And if your dad leaves a house behind, within the capacity of what you can do, repair the house. Do something in memory of your father. You are not doing this for anything, but you are showing your children on how to keep the memory of their ancestors alive. If you don't do that, your children are learning. They are looking at you. They believe that dad never speaks anything about his own dad to us. Hello? When you are gone, your children will probably not say anything about you. They are not wicked. It's because they've not been given experiential learning on how to keep forefathers' legacy. They didn't see you do it. So why would they do it to you? You've never said anything good about your ancestors, about your father. Because of the resentment and the anger that you are still carrying on, you don't want to have anything to do. Your children don't even know your father's house. They don't know anything about the history of your ancestors. They don't know anything about the history of your father. They don't even know the kind of vocation that your father did. They don't know anything about the job your father did. They don't know about anything meaningful that your own dad brought to the success of Nigeria. They don't know. You are just focusing on training them, giving them the best treat, training them, sending them abroad. You have the money, you have everything. And that is why some of these children, they don't want to have anything to do with your legacies. Regardless of what you leave behind them, they don't want to have anything to do with it. They want to focus on their life because they've not seen you. You've not given them experiential learning. So they have no reason. They have no reason about preserving your own legacy. So please forgive your dad. Go through the process of closure and healing. And while you are doing that, if your dad is still alive, take care of him. Send money to him. Go and visit him. He will be happy. He will be happy to receive you. Go and visit him. If he's gone, look for any of your uncles or your aunts, right? Then the second one, if he's gone, the house where he lived, go there. Preserve his memory. Preserve his legacy. Do something. If you can just repaint the house, if you can repair the house, do something. You are doing it so that you are teaching your own children on how to preserve the legacy of their forefathers, so that when you are gone, your children will learn how to preserve your own legacy. So I want to thank everybody who was here today. I want to thank you. Like I did say, this is not something I planned to do. It was a result of the engagement that I had with my client for almost about 5 hours today. I was so much overwhelmed, and with his express permission, he told me to speak about this, on how adults can seek closure and healing from their childhood trauma. Many of us, we carry childhood trauma into marriage. The childhood trauma that we carry into marriage is really affecting our marital life. It's affecting the way we treat our wives. It's affecting the way we treat our husband. The same thing is affecting the way we treat our children, because we have not sought closure and healing. So I want to thank everybody. Mr. Ola Johnson, thank you. Daddy Wole Oladiyun, appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you, sir, for helping us dropping all those bulletin about what we've discussed so far. Thank you, sir. I do not take this for granted. Thank you. Oh, my madam, Impactor Brands. Mommy, we call her Mommy Mende. Thank you, ma. Mrs. Mojibola Akiniyi Akinyuga Oyingbo Bola. Thank you for coming. My madam Yeye Ashiwaju Buki Rufai. Thank you. I do not take your presence here for granted. Madam Efe Farinre. Thank you for what you have, for your time, energy, and resources. And what again? the data that you have used. Thank you for everything. So once in a while, if I have anything to speak about childhood trauma, closure, and healing, I will always bring this up. So please, we have the liberty to share this. We have the liberty to share it with people that we know we need this message. We need to populate this environment with a pure heart, with closure and healing. We don't need to pass to our children unhealed childhood trauma. It is a sin. Perhaps I forgot to add that it's a sin to do that, to pass unhealed trauma to our children. We won't do that. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Bye.